am your host, Greg Chatmendy, along with my co-host, the second best Rocket League player in the party, Gavin Motorzel.
That is probably true.
It depends on the day, to be honest. Probably right now you're probably better, because, You're
still gonna do it.
This is true. So today we have on the docket, because we don't already did predictions, so if you haven't seen that podcast, check that out. We probably won't... Hi, cheeks. We probably won't be doing that again, because we'd be like, oh, you can do it on the Thursday for Thanksgiving. You probably have time. Well, I won't be in town. But on the bright side, everyone, there's a possibility that we still have a podcast on that Saturday. So, shout out to you, Teeks. You get to listen to again. So we're going to start off here. First thing on the list, we have to talk about this Ravens-Dolphins game. Now, I would normally ask Gavin which game he wants, but there's only one game, so I'm gonna start off here. This was what you call a team going in somewhere with cockiness, expecting to blow out a bad team. And then when that bad team runs QB contain the entire game and blitzes 8 people against a terrible O-line, the Ravens receivers couldn't catch. Lamar was dying in the backfield. There was fumbles. Miami didn't really do much until Tua came in the game. I thought Jacoby Brissett died because he got hit and started screaming. I was like, oh no. The Dolphins won, and it wasn't really close. Robert Hunt should probably have gotten that touchdown. Ravens should have declined the penalty. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Robert Hunt was...
Find him.
What do you mean? Hey, at least the NFL, at least their fine's not as bad as the NHL. I won't get into that because I am a Blackhawks fan, so I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we definitely don't need to talk about that.
Just for reference, for anyone that's interested, look it up yourself. The Chicago Blackhawks, who had a very, very big controversy happen, possibly the biggest in sports in the last, since probably Colin Kaepernick, only got fined $1 million for what they did, for hiding it for 10 years, and another team that was just slightly over the salary cap got fined $3 million. So, and I believe they got some draft picks taken away too, right?
Yeah.
It can't possibly be as bad as that. Although you can pretty much get fined for anything at this point, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, then you don't get fined for anything.
You lose more money for having an untucked jersey.
CeeDee Lamb, it's a fun game. What will CeeDee Lamb get fined for this week?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, back to Ravens-Dolphins. Do you have anything to say?
I just really want to talk about the Robert Hunt touchdown. He made a great effort. I think he'll have a play on offense, probably.
I'd love to see it. Who do the Dolphins play next week? I don't remember. Do they play New England?
No, they don't.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Ravens lost. Bad. Alright. So now we're going to go on to a new segment. None of that was English, Greg. We're going to go on to a new segment here called Greg's Players of the Week. Now, I'm not going to do special teams because I don't have a memory that good. But I'm going to highlight 4 players, 2 from each conference, offensive and defensive, who really showed out and were pretty much the catalyst to their teams winning this week. I don't want to look at the Bengals. None of them are on the Bengals. I'm going to tell you that now.
What do you mean?
So, first off, we have quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa. who really came into that game after Jacoby Brissett looked like he died and played really well, all things considered. Missed some easy throws, but he also has an injured finger. And think of how much better that offense looked with Tua under center compared to Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
It was like night and day. Tua looked really good. He looked comfortable. He looked confident against the Ravens defense that has been inconsistent at best. But I think if Jacoby Brissett's in that game, the Dolphins have a much harder time winning this game. And for that, I give it to Tua, who's had probably the worst season out of any NFL quarterback. Not statistically. Actually, no, Derek Carr's also had a really bad moral season, huh? It's really a toss-up. Those two have had a real rough year.
I mean, Derek Carr was playing really well. He still is. I mean,
until the NFC Defensive Player of the Week got to him. But we'll not go there yet, because first we have the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and it's a member of the Tennessee Titans, and it's going to be more plays like a D and like DT role, but he plays like technically 3-4, whatever. Jeffrey Simmons, 6 QB pressures in the first half, 3 sacks. Was the one hitting the quarterback when Matt Stafford threw that pick to David Long. Jeffrey Simmons was unstoppable. He looked like Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald also looked like Aaron Donald, but Jeffrey Simmons did his best Aaron Donald impression. Yeah. The only team that can stop Aaron Donald is the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeffrey Simmons was great, and you know, I love him. All right. Who'd I give Offensive Player of the Week to in the NFC? Hold on. Hold on. Did I give it to Colt McCoy?
I don't think you gave it. You might have.
That sounds like something I do, though. No, okay. I remember who I did give it to, but I'm changing it to Colt McCoy.
Did you originally give it?
Cordell Patterson. But here, we're going to give it to Colt McCoy, who came in for Kyler Murray and looked comfortable. I don't know if that's just because the Niners suck.
My remote died, so you get to repeat that.
I originally had Cordell Patterson, but I'm putting Colt McCoy in there because he went in there and looked more comfortable behind I feel like Cliff Kingsbury coached a better game without Kyler in because he knew he couldn't run an air raid offense. You know?
Yeah.
Because Colt McCoy, let me tell you, cannot leave a pocket. Maybe if they put in Chris Trevalier, but, ain't no way.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that, to be honest, but
Colt McCoy looked great, and the Niners didn't. But Colt McCoy did. And the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, I hinted to it earlier, second-year safety of the New Jersey Giants, Xavier McKinney, who had 2 interceptions on Derek Carr, including a pick 6. And if he wasn't on the field, the Raiders don't win this game. And that's really how you get on this list, is if you make such a big impact that I feel that you're the reason a team won a game. Well, not like them. Without you, they wouldn't have won. So that's why those 4 guys got it. All right. So next up, we have, of course, power rankings. And I'm not going to ask you even or odd because I want even.
okay. Fair enough.
All right. And that starts off with the number 302 team.
You did do that.
The 302nd team, the Houston Texans, who were terrible against the Dolphins. Tyrod Taylor threw 3 picks. I think they also fumbled once. It was not good. They were bad. Very bad. They were terrible. Up and down. Just awful. I wish they traded Brandon Cooks. Please let him go.
Yeah. Alright, next on the list. The Lions. They haven't won a game yet. They really should do that soon. But
Hey,
they ran by.
Mason Rudolph's coming in. Just saying. They have it. No, they're gonna lose by 40 because it's a game I think they could win.
Yeah. Mason Rudolph is about to have the game of his life.
Or he's gonna get killed again.
Either way, he's gonna have a game of his life.
Ever since that getting hit with the helmet thing, don't you hate Mason Rudolph more than you hate Myles Garrett? Not hate, but dislike.
I feel like I'd rather see Dwayne Haskins playing.
It's probably gonna be Mason Rudolph though. It should be Dwayne, but it'll probably be Mason Rudolph because it's Mike Tomlin. That's how he functions. All right, so number 30.
Hodges played that one time though.
Is he still on the roster?
I don't think so.
Number 30, the Jets, who probably could have been up higher if they didn't get blown out by the Colts, but they did, and they suck. So I'll wait for next time you find a good team to beat the Jets.
Yep. All right. Number 39 is the Washington football team. They have not been doing so great. They were also on bye and went down, but they've just not been good. So
yeah. On 28, we have the aforementioned Dolphins, who looked good for the first time this season. Well, I guess second time because their defense looked good against the Texans, but it's also the Texans that doesn't count. And they looked good in the first half against the Bills, but I mean, I don't know, there was half a half, so I don't know.
Yeah. Next is Jags. I think they're only here because they beat the Bills.
Exactly. They'll probably be back in 29-30 next week. That's it?
Correct.
All right. I'll talk a little bit more about them then. Josh Allen wins, lol. That's all that needs to be said. Next, we have the Panthers, who signed. Oh, this is a new thing. We'll probably talk about someone else that got signed around number 5, but the Panthers have re-signed former quarterback Cam Newton to probably start over PJ Walker next week. This is more just put people in seats because no one wants to watch a Panthers game. They just lose to bad teams and they'll keep it close with a mat team. Panthers aren't good. Sam Darnold sucks.
Yeah. Next is the Niners. They got blown out by Colt McCoy.
And they'll probably get blown out again. On primetime.
Let's go.
Next, you already know who's at 24 if you watch enough of these.
Been there forever, never leaving.
It's the Bears. They maybe had a chance to go up if they won the game. Granted, it's not their fault they lost. But
yeah,
they might have been able to leave 24 if they won that game. But, that's how the world works.
Unfortunate. Alright. I don't think the Eagles are still there. I need to actually check.
No, the Eagles moved a little bit.
Damn. Alright, the Giants, they beat the Raiders. Granted, the Raiders are kind of falling apart, but they did play really good against kind of playoff caliber team.
I'm not sure yet. We'll see who's on the roster by next week. Just for the record, I made this list this week, and I don't think the Giants should be higher than the Bears. Just the Bears can't leave 24.
I mean, I don't think the Eagles should be higher than the Bears either, but they are every week.
Well, the Eagles kept it close with the Chargers, and it wasn't because of Chargers playing bad. The Eagles actually played good, which is a rare phenomenon, honestly, in Philadelphia at this point. The defense held
I saw
All
a thing
right.
that had Jalen Hurts in like MVP conversation. I'm like, what?
Okay, that's just stupid. That was probably made by a Philadelphia reporter who thinks they're Super Bowl contenders.
No, it wasn't. I mean, maybe because Carson Wentz was also on the list, but
Exactly. Fun fact for anyone that doesn't know, any reporters that might be, listening. No quarterback is going to win an MVP if their team doesn't make the playoffs.
what do you mean?
Like, the lowest record of all time for like an MVP winner, I believe, is Barry Sanders at 9-7. I think their team still made the playoffs. They just lost.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they made the playoffs. I just think he was so good.
The kicker. What about the kicker?
Kickers don't count. those aren't real. Since MVPs were actual, players. Not when kickers won MVP.
Kickers are players too.
I agree, but no. They're not that type of players. 21. I'm done with this conversation.
Why? 21 is the Vikings. They really should beat the Ravens. I think that's the only reason they're here, because Greg wanted the Ravens to lose. But they blew a big lead against a team that is better.
We don't know. Depends on the week, I guess. To be honest, why the Vikings were lower at first is because I forgot what they did last week. And then I remember, and I was like, well, I can't put them too low. So actually, originally, the Giants were 25, and the Giants, yeah, and then the Eagles were up 1, and it was wild. Don't worry about it. Next, we have the Seahawks.
You worked for the podcast this week.
I listen, this is what happens when I do things. This is why I don't do things. I also couldn't remember what the Seahawks did. Then I remembered.
They ran by.
Exactly. That's why I couldn't remember. Then why did they like move? You might ask, Greg. Well, they got Russell Wilson back, so I mean that's all that matters. Did they go up or down? They went down. Whatever. Don't question me. Next, please.
Alright. Next is the Colts. They beat the Jets.
Good for them.
I think they went up for beating the Jets. Did they? I think they did go up.
Nope, they went down.
Nope, they went down for beating the Jets. No. Who knows?
The Broncos went up, actually. The Broncos beat the Cowboys, so the Broncos got to move up.
Good for them, man.
They don't have Von Miller anymore because this franchise is outdated, but that's irrelevant. Teddy checkdown looked good because they let him check down.
Yeah, he really just kept throwing it deep. I know. All right, then we got the Bengals,
Who free fell.
Yeah, quite an unfortunate turn of events. They were ahead of the Packers a few weeks ago.
Remember that? And then they lost to the Jets and got blown out by the Browns.
Yeah, so started at the top and now they're here.
I imagine they'll kind of be sitting in this range for the rest of the season. Unless they can turn it around on this bye week. And honestly, Bengals, I'll probably forget about you so you'll accidentally go up. So you can look forward to that, Bengals fans.
Two of them that will be watching this.
Alright, next we have a team that I grabbed them by the balls and dragged them up the power rankings. We have the Falcons, who, without Calvin Ridley, because I don't remember if I talked about this last week.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, but he probably gets better. They were gonna Falcon, and then Cordell Patterson's like, no, I'm tired of this. I came here expecting to change things. Now I'm gonna damn well do it. So then he did, and then Young Maiku just doesn't miss unless it's against the Chiefs, because the Chiefs, need luck to win in the preseason.
Yeah.
So Cordero Patterson is a god among men, and we praise him.
Next is the Chiefs. What did the Chiefs do? The Chiefs got...
They barely beat a team that was letting them win.
They barely beat Jordan Love and the Packers.
After barely beating the Giants.
They're in a bad spot.
Remember when we thought they were still going to be like the old Chiefs week 1 when they beat the Browns? And then...
Well, I mean, they barely beat the Browns.
That's true. And that never happened. We should have known then that the Chiefs were in a rough spot.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest problem with the Chiefs is, like, they're winning and going down the power rankings, and you might be saying, Greg, that makes 0 sense. Yeah, but neither does the Chiefs sucking so bad. The Chiefs only won this game because of terrible Packers special teams play. It wasn't even Jordan Love playing that poorly, because the play calling the offensive line was just being terrible. Chiefs defense wasn't even necessarily good. It's just the Packers suck without Aaron Rodgers. Mason Crosby is apparently the next, I don't even know, Joey Sly.
You can't make the long distance ones though.
Exactly. No, he can't even make those. He just kicks it hard enough that if it was on pace, it would go in. But the Chiefs need a decisive win over a bad team, and I don't think they're going to get it in the Raiders. But if they were to blow out a team, and that might trick people into thinking they're good, it would be the Raiders, because the Raiders have nothing left besides pain and misery and Darren Waller. Who's next? Raiders, right.
We're going down a nice little chain pattern here.
Yeah, they call me the master of the segue. The Raiders, they lost to the Giants, and they don't have Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, a head coach. What else can they possibly lose?
Derek Carr gets charged with Deshaun Watson stuff.
Hey, remember like week 1 we were talking about like the Raiders and how like Darren Waller inspired Max Crosby to go get help for alcoholism?
Apparently they do the other way around too.
Apparently there's a big drinking culture because Damon Arnett gets drunk and threatens someone on Instagram. Henry Ruggs gets drunk and, well...
does what he did and goes fast.
John Gruden was probably drunk when he sent those emails. It's John Gruden. I mean...
John Gruden was probably always drunk.
But there's 2 men that you should love on this team. It's actually 3. Darren Waller, Max Crosby, and Derek Carr. Derek Carr has been a great professional through all of this. And I hope they beat the Chiefs, because I'm cheering for you, Derek.
I think moving to Vegas was probably the worst thing this franchise did. Because, first of all, you're bringing all these, 20-year-olds to play with rich 20-year-olds to play football into Vegas, which...
It's just a party city. It's just a party city.
Yeah.
It's where you go to... It's not somewhere you want to live. It's where you go to gamble, and it's where you go to get drunk and go to strip clubs.
Yeah, so it was not a good move for the organization, and it's playing out kind of as I would have anticipated too.
Have you also noticed, the Raiders fan base has been less ravenous since moving to Vegas? It just doesn't feel like it has that passion. And now it just kind of feels like a California team fan base, rather than what was the Raiders fan base. I don't know. Next. Maybe they need to steal some fans or something.
Well, you know what fans what team the NFL is a fan of? I tried, it didn't work. The Steelers.
Oh, we're talking about the ref's favorite team.
Yeah.
Going from the silver and black, but I guess the refs don't know what colors the Steelers wear, so they dressed up in Raiders costumes instead.
Yeah. It's okay, they had their terrible towels out there.
Man, you should have lost this game, Pittsburgh. You moved up,
okay.
but that's
You
only
did.
because you'll probably be leading this division after this week. Somehow. And Steelers fans will act like they're Super Bowl bound. Like, we can ask your cousin. I think they're still going to the Super Bowl.
I'm pretty sure he'd say no.
No, you probably talk about how Ray McLeod's the next great NFL receiver.
Maybe. He really likes Najee Harris, I know that much.
Well, speaking of running backs that have to carry an offense, we're on to the Saints. And they will not be with their star running back this week, as Alvin Kamara has COVID or is injured.
He's injured, I think. He's just done as out. He's not done as a COVID injury.
Ah. Yeah, so they're not going to have a starting quarterback or a starting running back or a
Sorry,
offense. No Michael Thomas, no Alvin Kamara, no Jameis Winston. At least they have a defense. So if I expect this one thing from the Titans game is to have no scoring, because who else went on IR this week? Julio Jones. But, I can't win.
I need to take Marquez Callaway out of my lineup, huh?
This is gonna.
Actually, I'm gonna keep him in. He has to get a lot of touches, right? They can't possibly not give him the ball, right?
But you know what this is, Gavin? Janoris Jenkins' revenge game.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Janoris Jenkins gets a lot of revenge.
Imagine Janoris Jenkins gets like 6 picks.
They bench Trevor Simeon for Ian Book.
Then they bench Ian Book and send out Sean Payton.
I'm the quarterback now, kids.
And he throws for 400 yards.
Drew Brees' kid walks in from the bench.
Wearing his dad helmet, looking for his mom to get him a snack. They snap it to him and he accidentally throws a check down to Mark Ingram for a touchdown. Because he gets scared.
Brees is back. Brees is back. Brees is short, so they don't even notice.
Speaking of teams that looked like they were a little short mentally this week.
Man, that's not nice.
Am I wrong? Did you watch that offensive line? They didn't know what they were doing.
Man, I only watched like 5 plays and it's just...
Josh Allen. And not the good one.
Well, yeah, he is the good one, Matt.
Okay, well, yeah, well, you know what I mean. Not the one everyone thinks is good. The actual good one. Bills lost, so they don't get to be in the top 10.
Yeah, they lost to Jaguars. Granted, the Bengals got to stay in the top 10 after losing to the Jets, but that's just because I refuse to admit that happened.
We dropped the Titans down from the top 10 to like 20 after they lost to the Jets.
Yeah. Well, that was also early season, so...
Yeah, the Titans literally went from like 8 to 20 to like 7 to 20 again.
It was great.
Speaking of a team where I'm not quite sure what they are,
Oh, yeah, that team's up here, huh?
we have the New England Wrestlers. I can't wait this week. It's going to be a real grappling contest between them and the Browns. I really see some tight holds maybe from the offensive line. But, the best way the Patriots are going to go about winning this game is if Mac Jones can take them by the ankles and really twist their knee.
bad.
So the Patriots are top 10 because they could possibly take the division this week. It's possible.
It is possible.
They're ahead of the Bills in the power rankings, so that means anything.
I don't think they're going to take the division, but it is possible.
But speaking of teams that have lost to the Dolphins,
so we got the Ravens, who looked really bad, and they look really bad, and they look really good at the same time. They kind of did what the Bills did. Looked really bad in the first half of a game, then play good and end up squeezing their way into a victory of a game you should have won by a lot.
But they didn't do that this week. They did it against the Bengals. Man, there's only like one constant, and is that Lamar Jackson looks good, and everyone else just...
A lot of drops, man.
So many drops. It was ridiculous. I was like, you cut all of these guys. Sammy Watkins fumbled. Marquise Brown has bricks again.
I dropped a lot of passes.
But you're in high school and you're like 5'2".
I'm not 5'2".
Oh, sorry. 5'2.5".
But, yeah.
No, man. At least this team's quarterback looked good this week. Unlike the Cowboys, who looked better under Cooper Rush than Dak Prescott. As Dak Prescott proceeded to throw to absolutely no one until he threw 2 touchdowns at the end of the game to a nobody. And then Mike McCarthy decided, you know what, we're out of this game, but I'm going to run QB draw for a pointless
quarterback.
For a pointless 2-point conversion. That was stupid. But you could have been in the top 5, Dallas. All you had to do was not get blown out by Broncos. You got blown out by the Broncos who just traded Von Miller. You got blown out by the Broncos who just loses to every team with a brain.
Even the Cowboys don't have one of those.
You got blown out by the Broncos that almost lost to the football team. Just Broncos, they looked like shit.
Yeah. Who's next? The Browns. They destroyed the Bengals. Made me a little sad.
We have a lot of Bengals fan friends, as in we have 2. And man, watching Bengals fans get sad, a tradition. That was like the first time I ever had hope. And Joe Burrow's establishing that he has a small interception problem.
Nah, what do you mean?
11 interceptions through 9 games is not good.
Look, I know an interception problem, and that's not an interception problem.
Okay, Bucks fan.
Look, Mahomes has more interceptions.
That's true. Mahomes has been with interception crazy. Maybe Mahomes can beat the 30. He's trying to set a new record. Instead of the 30 for 30, he's going for the 40 for 40.
40 for 40. Let's go.
Speaking of teams whose offense can't really tell what it wants to be, it's the Chargers, who one week's offense looks like it's clicking on fours. And the next week, they'll proceed to not score more than 6 points, and Justin Herbert will be the leading rusher. This team beat the Eagles, but the Eagles were playing well. That's why the Chargers got to move out so much, because the Eagles were playing really well, and they still won. And
lose games like that.
Yeah, that's mostly when Chargers games they lose. Like, a stupid fumble will happen, and then the Eagles will score, and then the Chargers have to kick a field goal, and they'll miss, but they didn't miss. So the Chargers won in a good game. The offense, or Justin Herbert looked really good, as he should. And they should probably use Austin Eckler more.
Yeah. Next.
Speaking of teams who without a running back, I guess. I don't know.
It's not them. Oh,
They-
this is the Rams. Okay. You know, you said without a running back, and my mind went to Cardinals because I'm like, they're still in James Conner. But
The Cardinals don't have a number next to them, so
yeah, I was confused, man.
they're not ranked this week. Sorry, guys.
They're actually ranked 0.
Yeah, I just needed to stronghold a couple teams, make them a little bit higher. So
Yeah. The Rams lost to the Titans, which is fine.
if the Titans had Derrick Henry, I don't think it's as fine without Derrick Henry.
It's fine. That Stafford just has fire in prime time.
The fire around him. This is fine. Jeffrey Simmons with a flamethrower burning things down. Everything is A-okay. The offensive line just on the floor crying.
Yeah, they get OBJ and then
They lose.
not Brandon Cooks.
Then they also get Brandon Cooks. Like they bring the whole squad back together. Todd Gurley came back. Hey, everyone. Jared Goff. The Lions cut him. Just let him have him back. And then they bench Matt Stafford. It's wild.
We're making the band back together.
And they cut Jalen Ramsey because he wasn't on that team.
Yeah, we get CJ Anderson back.
Oh my god, that's a name. Yeah, but they got OBJ, and then on that exact same day, Robert Woods tore his ACL. So it went from, I don't know where OBJ's get his targets, to where he might get a little more, but I still don't think he's going to get as many targets as he wants.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. I think the winner out of this is no one.
I agree with what John Johnson said, Brown safety, who's been on the Browns with OBJ and the Rams. He said, I don't think that's a good fit, and I'm not sure how that offense is going to work. Because OBJ is like, I think he's a great receiver on a bad team. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like someone they can just force the ball to and he can demand targets because who else is going to get the ball? But I think on a good team, he struggles because he's not the focal point and he wants to be the focal point. And unfortunately on this offense, we have Red Solo Cooper Kupp, who's trying to break NFL records, and I would kind of prefer that, to be honest.
And you know, Matt Stafford's broke those records with other receivers, so he's going to do it again.
He's like, oh yeah? You think you can keep that, Lions? No, I'm taking that with me too.
This is mine.
When you traded me, you traded the receiving yards record.
Alright. Yeah, I think OBJ is just not a good receiver, really. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not elite.
But speaking of teams that OBJ wanted to sign with, we have the Green Bay Packers, who I thought about dropping further. Then I was like, they're going to have Aaron Rodgers back, and that was more of a one-off game caused by poor special teams play. That I think with Aaron Rodgers they win. So
Weird this bad special teams play has been a consistent thing for the Packers, though.
yeah, they're about to Chargers themselves. It's becoming impressive. Don't do it, Green Bay.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like tomorrow's game, I think they should just start Jordan Love. But
Well, Rodgers already named the starter.
I don't know.
It's gonna be a returning Russ against a returning Rodgers.
Yeah. Like, I'm assuming he knows the game plan and stuff, but like, he didn't get to practice with the team this week. And
I don't think it matters because it's Aaron Rodgers.
it always matters.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers missed like all of training camp.
True. And then they lost by 35 against the Saints.
That's also true. I kind of forgot about week 1, to be honest. I forgot that was a thing that happened. That was just like blanked from my memory. I completely forgot that they ever even played the Saints. In Jacksonville.
Yep.
Man, I don't remember any of that. Man, that feels like it was years ago. Speaking of things that should have been gone years ago. We have the entire Bucs roster, as I believe their average age is about 52.
It's actually like 28, but
Are you sure?
yeah. Cause they have like 5 guys under the age of like 25. Which brings
Oh yeah, it's like all in their secondary.
yeah, everyone in the secondary is not.
And Richard
great.
Sherman.
Oh wait, well I forgot he was there.
How did Tyrell Crosby get on this team?
I don't know.
I don't think that's a thing in real life. I think he's still on the Lions.
I'm pretty sure.
What was your opinion on the Bucs bye week? Did you see anything in their game against no one that you really liked?
I liked how we didn't lose another member of our secondary. That was a plus. I really expected that to happen. It tends to be a trend. But,
I think they only get injured in games, though.
no.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I was waiting for like the concussion during practice type of deal.
That's fair. Or torn ACL like Robert Woods. Isn't Sean Murphy Bunting supposed to be back soon?
I don't know. Hopefully.
I feel like he got injured. It was supposed to be like a 5 to 10 week injury, and I've just never heard from him again.
I want him to return with like a JPP cast on.
Wait, missing a finger?
Well, like just like a complete like club for an arm.
That he might get some more PBI or not PBI. Yeah, PBI. That's just PI. Greg, just stop speaking. Next team, the team that's beaten probably had the roughest start of their season, like team-wise. They've beaten every single playoff team from last year they've played. They're 6-0 against them.
Yeah, you're losing to the Jets, huh?
They didn't have any receivers. Granted, they won't again this week, but they'll still have A.J. Brown. And their defense looks good, which is something I haven't said in my lifetime.
Yeah, weird.
I mean, they were all right when I was like 4 years old, but I wasn't a Titans fan then. I wasn't really any fan then.
Were they really? Were they?
That was the Vince Young-led Titans that went like 11-5 until Jeff Fisher decided he didn't like Vince Young.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Rams and ruined that franchise for years.
Draft Sam Bradford. Let's ruin his life.
And then draft Jared Goff and send him to... and then send him to McVay. Call it a day. But the Titans look really good, and if they keep playing like they've been playing, they're favorites to come out of the AFC, especially if Derrick Henry comes back.
It's kind of hard for them not to win the AFC.
If every other team in the AFC doesn't know what they want to be on a week-by-week basis.
There's a reason the Titans are the only AFC team in the top 6.
That's true. That's very true. Actually, no, the Chargers are in the top 6.
Oh wait, yeah. Yeah, the Cowboys and Chargers switch places. My bad.
But I hope the Titans keep playing like they do, because I would love to watch a Titans playoff run. Because the best year of my life was that year when the Titans made the AFC Championship. I've never felt more excitement for football in my life. I was expected, another 9-7 season. I can't wait to lose in the wild card round. Well, I thought that, actually, if you remember, you probably didn't hear this on stream because I wasn't really, but whatever. I thought they'd beat the Patriots and lose to the Ravens, and they beat the Ravens, and I got really excited, and then they were up 10 against the Chiefs, and I was like, we're still going to lose, and they lost anyway because they couldn't tackle.
Yeah.
Win something, please.
No.
Shut up, Bucks fan.
Get to the Super Bowl and lose to the Cowboys.
I'd be okay with getting to the Super Bowl, because at least I can buy an AFC Championship team shirt.
Nah, they'll get lost.
They'll accidentally send those. You know how, like, what happens to those shirts, right? Because they have to print both teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So
Just like they'll get lost, just like Cliff Kingsbury, where he has to play against a legitimate team.
I mean, they beat the Rams.
Yeah.
But the Rams seem to struggle against good teams too. That's for the Bucks.
Beat the Bucks.
Are the Bucks a good team though? Who knows?
Good teams too.
Have the Bucks beaten a team with an over 500 record this season?
We don't need to talk about that.
Wait, how do you get to number 3? You frauds.
We beat the Patriots.
I guess that's true. I guess that's fair. You beat one. Congratulations. Round of applause for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, everyone. They beat the Patriots and have lost to every other good team. Granted, they don't have many good teams in their schedule because Tom Brady get the gawk.
Granted, the Bills might not have a winning record by that point, but
we'll see. They'll probably lose like 4-20 against the team just for funny ha-has.
Get 2 safeties and still lose.
That'd be a game that I'd love to watch. Okay, we're done stalling. We should probably talk about the Cardinals now.
Who cares if you don't have a quarterback? Who needs a quarterback?
Or DeAndre Hopkins. That's all we really want to say about the Cardinals. I don't like talking about the Cardinals. They're kind of just the Cardinals, you know?
Is there a point in talking about the Cardinals? They're just
Cardinals. The Cardinals. Yeah, like what's there to say? Alright, so anyway, we're on to our final segment. Predicting the playoffs at the mid-season point. A little past, but whatever.
Close enough.
So, I don't remember what my one was preseason, but I think the Dolphins were involved.
They definitely were.
And I think I was a toss-up between the Dolphins and the Patriots, so I'll probably be replacing the Dolphins with the Patriots. But anyway, so would you like to start, or would you like me to start? And would you like to do AFC or NFC first?
My preseason stuff, by the way, had Panthers in it.
I mean, that still could happen. The NFC sucks.
Yeah. I also had the Niners, like, winning the division, and the football team. So
I think I'd like the entire NFC West in the playoffs. So
yeah, the Cardinals were not there, but it's fine. Anyways, so my playoffs, in the NFC I have the Rams being the 1 seed, with Packers at the 2 seed, Bucks at the 3 seed, Cowboys at the 4 seed, Cardinals at 5, Saints at 6, and then the Seahawks at 7.
Alright.
Then for the AFC, it's Titans at 1, Bills at 2, Chargers at 3, Ravens at 4, Chiefs at 5, Raiders at 6, Browns at 7.
Alright, so Gavin did it by actually picking every game who he thinks can win for the rest of the season. I'm just doing off my brain right now. Alright, so NFC, you have the Packers 1, Cardinals 2, Cowboys 3, Bucks 4, Saints 5, Seahawks 6. Who do I want 7? Oh, the Rams. I forgot the Rams. I forgot the Rams. Yeah, the Rams. The Rams can be 5, and every other team can move back 1. And the AFC, if Titans 1, I'm going to put the Baltimore Ravens 2, and then I'm going to put the Bills and the other division is going to be won by the Chiefs because the NFL loves them. And then I'm going to have Chargers, Pats, Steelers.
Okay.
What you might be asking why the Steelers? Because, they'll find their way in there and lose to number 2 seed. Ravens. Yep.
Alright. Fair enough.
So that was the podcast, everyone. The Bengals will not be in the playoffs because the Bengals will bangle. So, hopefully...
Well, honestly, Bengals fans do not want them in the... Well, they might, but it's not worth the pain.
You'll just lose again.
Do you really want that? Do you?
So, that's our podcast. If you like the podcast, like and subscribe. We do it every... Technically, we started this one Sunday morning. We do this at some point in between 10 p.m. CST and 1 a.m. CST. And normally we do predictions and power rankings in the same stream. And the power rankings goes faster because we don't have an entire stream to make out of it. So, this is Chatmendy along with my co-host, Gavin, the Bucks fan, Mo Drizzle.